It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's death.
I'm not even gonna waste. I'm wasting zero time. Bryan Danielson's advancing right there.
Yeah.
I love Pedro, but Bryan Danielson's got that in the bag.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're going back through the list, trying to get to the favorite wrestler. We're still on what is this, the 99 column, the 98 column? I don't think anybody's advanced past 97 placement yet, but we're getting there. And Bryan Danielson has moved into 98 at least.
Let's go.
So I can guarantee you he's much higher on the list than 98.
Yep, that's for sure.
Raven and Evan Bourne. Raven Bourne.
Raven Bourne, let's go.
Let's see. Yeah, it's tough because as much as I love Evan Bourne, he does not define a generation the way Raven can.
No.
If you're a 90s kid, you're a Raven kid in my book.
That's fair.
Ooh, you know what really sells it too? I love Raven in every company but WCW. TNA Raven. That's where I'm sold. It's like if you can still be that good at that area in your career, you're advancing.
That makes sense.
Danielson and Raven, another day.
It's gonna be hard.
John Moxley and Carlito.
Okay, so do you want to spit apple or do you want to spit blood?
Blood, always. It's
makes
John
sense.
Moxley.
Hey,
he's in the top 3, so.
That's not cool, though.
Spoiler alert, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, top 3.
That's fair.
Stone Cold and Al Snow. Nothing stone colder than Al Snow.
That's a good. Let's go. You do love
Stone
Al.
Cold. I do love Stone Cold.
You do love Stone Cold. Oh, hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah!
I don't know. Al Snow is a really cool dude, and he did respond to me on Twitter that one time.
That one time
Maybe if Stone Cold would give me a tweet.
What?
Hey, Stone Cold, you got 5 seconds to...
No, I love Al Snow, and he's a great cat, I think. I don't know anymore sometimes, but Stone Cold's going ahead there.
Can I throw up the bird?
Yeah. I don't have to blur it out, actually. You can just literally do what you want.
Hell yeah.
Let's
Give me
see.
a hell yeah!
Terry Funk and Chris Jericho.
Ooh, Terry Funkico.
Let's see. I'm not actually thinking that hard. I love Y2J, but Terry Funk has been my all-time favorite for a long, long time. I mean, come on.
But
Come on.
he is not the learning tree.
I beg to differ. I very much beg to differ. You
Let's
can
go.
learn a lot from Terry Funk.
He did throw fireballs, though, so he is a wizard.
Terry Funk has also thrown fireballs.
No, that's what I said.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
both guys threw fireballs. That's why it got confusing. Terry Funk, I argue, invented the fireball altogether.
Yeah.
He invented drinking fireball.
Damn, okay.
He even wrote a song about it.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know Terry Funk.
Fireball.
Oh, no, that's not Terry Funk.
That's Terry Funk. Literally is the one that put the Earth on its axis, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, that's fair.
This low key, this is probably the hardest one I'm looking at. Bray Wyatt and Roderick Strong, because I like them both so much for two different aspects.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. This is
the
literally
wrestler.
like showmanship versus in-ring work.
Dude, that's because it's like I don't feel right putting Roddy over Bray Wyatt, but I love ROH legend Roderick Strong that much.
You do. And had this been done like 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said Roderick Strong doesn't have as strong of a case, but I don't know, the past few years.
Yeah, for sure. It's literally, and I've been a fan of his since his ROH time, and more so that NXT run. We all love Undisputed Era. This new Roderick Strong. ROH legend Roderick Strong. If I need to correct myself anymore, he's a top tier wrestler, and I'm obsessed with him. I thought he was gonna win the ROH World Title recently, to my own credit.
Tisk.
All of that culminated in even taking away the fact that Bray Wyatt is no longer with us, unfortunately. I have to put him above, because if you're going to put them in the ring and ask me who I want to win and who am I going to be more invested in, it is Bray Wyatt.
That's
it really
fair.
is.
That is fair. I think that's a very valid response.
I've always been, even before The Fiend was birthed, I've been captivated by Bray Wyatt. Everything he did, and I want to say does. I hate that I can't say does, but in some senses, he still does. His impression on this business is
for sure
very lasting. Bray Wyatt advances. Sorry, Roddy, you'll catch up a little later on. I know some of these will see repeat matches when they start to catch back up, but we know how they'll end at that point.
Yeah.
Taz and Christian Cage. Who's the better dad?
Ooh.
Who's the better dad?
I don't know. Christian Cage is my dad. Like, he is.
Could you imagine having Taz as your father? I want to know what Hook's life was like growing up. Maybe he didn't see him a lot, or maybe he had to wake up at 5 a.m. and run laps.
Oh, Lord.
Well, and see, you've never seen Tough Enough. Watch season 1 of Tough Enough and see that Taz, and see how you feel about him as a parent. Tough Enough Taz.
Tough Enough Taz? Are you a Tough Enough Taz?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna make you watch Tough Enough.
Oh my god. It's gonna happen, guys. I'm scared.
The early ones are the best.
I'm scared.
I love Taz
Christian
a lot.
Cage.
Yeah, you could, and that video I posted of me standing next to him at the arena, that ended up blowing up. None of that could take away the fact that Taz has been a top 5 for me forever.
That's fair.
Taz has actually been at the number 5 slot and like alternated out with certain people, but he's always in the conversation.
What about when Stone Cold bitched him out on Raw?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember Stone Cold literally, him and like all the other ECW guys during the invasion, like literally putting him in there and like destroying him?
Yeah, let me correct myself. What I'm trying to say is I, for all intents and purposes, specifically don't remember that. I, on purpose, do not remember that.
Okay, that's fair.
Selective knowledge.
Okay.
I only know what I want to.
What?
Here's a hardcore matchup for you.
Mick Foley.
Versus the Sandman.
And it's Mick Foley. Like...
Let's see here. Because the Sandman might not have a lot of substance to most people, but he does to me. And that's because I'm a
guess
mark.
that's fair.
And a lot of times he's in the games, the earlier games, he's my WWE champion.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I put the spinner belt on that man many a time.
Okay, well, let me put it like this. He lost to Mr. Kennedy.
No, he lost to the corrupt system of WWE's internal booking. So
that's also true, yes. He fought a zombie once. That was cool.
It's actually stupid hard because Mick Foley is like a childhood hero to mine. I mean, I have some of his books over there on the bookshelf. I've often idolized the man, and at one point in middle school, you remember I carried a sock around with me everywhere.
He did that.
So it's hard for me to put someone over the Sandman as much as I love the Sandman, and I'm still questioning it, but I am leaning more towards Mick Foley.
Yeah, like, it has to be Mick. Like,
I'm thinking of matches now. Like, okay, Sandman has some great matches with Tommy Dreamer and Mikey Whipwreck and Raven. Him and Raven probably have the most iconic feud of ECW history, minus Raven and Tommy Dreamer. Mick Foley, as far as matches go, has delivered some of the most iconic moments.
yes.
This is crazy. What sells me on putting Mick Foley over here, over the Sandman, we go to the mic. Those Mick Foley, Cactus Jack promos.
Yes, for sure.
You're a winner, Mick Foley.
Yes, I agree with that.
That was tough, but man.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't the fact that he lost part of his ear that got you to put him over.
Ah, man.
He literally lost
part of his body for you. Holy Foley. That's what sold
Holy Foley. You know what? Yeah.
It only did one season. Alright, we've been waiting for this since the first episode. Wild Will Ospreay Will Ospreay versus Wild Bill Irwin.
Oh my god.
If you're still not familiar, and I haven't bragged about it enough, the second one is significant to my family lineage. So,
And the first one's significant to his birthday.
it's like, yeah, it's kind of like you feel like you have to put your great uncle over, but also he's never talked to you before and won't respond to your requests for an interview. Will Ospreay's killing the game right now, so
But will he respond to your request for an interview?
good point. He's a little too busy for that.
Okay.
Wild Bill's not too busy, and
Damn,
like I was
okay.
telling you
That's
off to the side, off camera here today. Like I've been really since the Road to All In series and going to the esports stadium and like the ties it has to mimicking the sportatorium. I really feel like I have this deeper connection now to it, and I've been going back and watching World Class at the Sportatorium and watching my great uncle wrestle the Von Erichs, and it's been surreal. So that's why it's kind of hard to go against it right now, because right now I'm like in that, like,
It's fresh.
yeah.
You're hyped on
and
it.
I'm proud to be related to that. That's really cool. Likewise, that's Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay. I mean, I don't know what other, like...
It's like, what else do we
Bro,
need to...
Bro, you gotta vote for Will Ospreay. That's terrible. That was...
Yeah.
I can do better than that, guys.
So, with the note I just made, I've watched a lot of Wild Bill lately. I've watched a lot of Will Ospreay in these past couple of years. Will Ospreay's a better wrestler, I'm sorry.
That's fair.
It's because wrestling has evolved from that period, and
Yeah.
that doesn't make today's wrestling better than old wrestling. It doesn't make old wrestling more substance-filled than today's story-filled wrestling. No, it just means wrestling has evolved,
That's
and we should be
very well put.
grateful. Will Ospreay's going ahead.
Let's go.
Sorry, Unc. MJF and Seth freaking
Oh.
Rollins.
Oh,
Tougher because I've been hot on MJF for a year or two now.
yeah.
I've liked Seth Rollins since 2011. Where do we go from here?
I would say MJF has built himself up in a shorter amount of time than Seth did.
Very much so.
That being said, I don't know, a lot of people are starting to turn on MJF now.
Yeah.
It's really
Especially
sad.
with the controversy, which isn't that controversial, but is a topic that people are like, well, wait, why should we even care about MJF if he's punching the walls in women's locker room?
I thought it came before that, just for the fact that he came back and he was a heel and no one... I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's the same shtick again. Like, what's... I don't know. I still think there is a top-tier athlete and a top-tier sports entertainer in there.
100%.
It's just right now... The whole thing with Cole really messed things up.
Yeah, because... And I don't think it was ever planned that way. The injuries kind of threw a wrench
Oh,
in
of
those
course,
plans.
yeah.
It does suck because it's like, okay, he's using his moves, trying to keep the storyline alive whenever there's so much else going on. And so maybe for that reason, it's why we can't really see why he's having a 55-minute or 59-minute match with Will Ospreay, but we're not really that into it. That was a great match.
It was a great match.
Great matches all the time, and him turning on Daniel Garcia very violently.
Yeah.
I feel like he was trying to be a heel, and that was the nail in the coffin to, no, I am a bad guy now.
Yeah,
we needed that.
I don't think I personally did not want to see him come back and be a heel.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
this
know.
isn't about all that either. That's what we
not.
have to
That's
remember.
fair.
Like, I don't want to spend half my time talking about what MJF's doing right now when I need to look at the longevity of their careers. And longevity-wise, Seth Rollins in 2016 to 18 was in a period where he was undeniable to all of us.
Yes.
So that's what kind of makes him hold his own argument here. The more I think on it, though, I love MJF.
Damn.
I love him. He's honestly creeping continuously into the top 25, top 10. MJF by the time this is said and done, he might even be in the top 5. I don't know anymore. That's why this whole series started.
Right.
MJF is going ahead.
See, I would have put Seth. And it's funny because remember,
You're wearing a Seth Rollins t-shirt.
he,
There's a bias.
well, not just that, but you have to remember, when I came
Yeah.
back into wrestling in 2019, I first saw Seth Rollins and I was turned off. I did not like the guy.
I could see how.
But
2019.
with going back and, catching up on what I missed, and then seeing the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, and then...
Man, if you could have just came back a year or two earlier, I feel like your whole perspective would change, or would have been different, because you would have been entering into a whole other time period. You entered into the time where things were changing again.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Changing.
Mandela effect, literally, depending on what year you came back into watching wrestling, depends the trajectory of your fandom. Like, had I not started watching again in 2014, 15, I think it was 15, yeah. Man, I probably wouldn't care about Dean Ambrose the way I did. I wouldn't care about Kevin Owens the way I do. It's crazy to think about. Speaking of 2017, how about 2017 Kenny Omega versus 2004 Eddie Guerrero? That would be insane. Peaks. It's not really too hard. All respect to Eddie. Rest in peace.
I had a feeling it was Kenny.
He'll get into that upper tier of the top 25, I'm sure, but Kenny Omega's shooting up there. I've yet to have one against Kenny Omega where I'm like, I like Jeff Hardy a lot, but Kenny Omega.
I think Kenny's going to be like top 3.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm almost certain the top 3, if all is right in my head, which it often isn't, the top 3 will involve Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega.
That makes sense.
And it's been that way for a long time, regardless of where they were and what their names were. RVD throws a wrench in it every time because, boy, do I love RVD.
Yeah!
All right, Shawn Michaels and Crash Holly.
Growing up, you had that Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You loved Shawn Michaels.
Dude, I did. He was my favorite at one point. Going into WrestleMania 23 was the turn of okay, I like John Cena a lot, but Shawn Michaels is my guy now.
That being said, Crash Holly kind of almost embodies something that you really, really love. As a whole, not just as a wrestler, but...
Yeah, Crash Holly he throws a wrench in everything because he's so funny and so quirky, and the hardcore title is synonymous with his name. Shawn Michaels, man. And also, whenever we were doing Crash Holly versus Adam Cole and Crash Holly versus AJ Styles, it was kind of okay, he's not going to out-wrestle them, but I like him more. And it's still the case scenario here. Again, he's up against a phenomenal athlete. But I'm but I kind of like Crash Holly more.
I wouldn't be surprised to see you put Crash over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, for as much as I love Shawn Michaels, and I'm about to go a little bit more deeper and personal with this, for as much as my grandmother liked Shawn Michaels, that's why I'm putting him over, because she was a wrestling fan herself, and she was a Gorgeous George fan back in her day. But when she started watching wrestling with me, when she found out I was into it, that was our guy. She started seeing Shawn Michaels, and she was like,
I see, okay.
I love Shawn Michaels. And we even had a secret handshake we did that involved the Sweet Chin Music tap. So
Let's go.
Yeah, there's a sentimental value there that I'm Shawn Michaels is going ahead.
Fun fact, my mother's favorite wrestler is also Shawn Michaels.
Awesome. Man, Shawn Michaels is just the guy.
He is. Speaking of the guy, oh my god. 2008 to 13 me, or I guess 12 when I stopped watching, this would be the hardest thing ever.
I'm saying RVD versus CM Punk. Who's the ECW champion? No. It's not too hard. I do love CM Punk a lot, and I actually see CM Punk going far in this, but RVD is in that top 5.
I would put RVD over too.
Yeah. Like I said previously, just a few minutes ago, RVD often throws somebody out of the top 3 sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, RVD goes ahead pretty easily. Now, we're at Bryan Danielson and Raven, and it's still not hard as much as I love Raven.
Yeah,
Bryan Danielson.
Because it's Bryan Danielson. I mean,
but you see now where we're getting closer to seeing some of these top 5 candidates face each other. We got Kenny advancing, Shawn Michaels, RVD, now Bryan Danielson. We're going to really start testing where my favorites are. Seeing Stone Cold versus Jon Moxley, what a dream. That's a dream match.
That would have been an amazing match.
Give me a hell yeah!
Yeah, and Jon Moxley would win. I don't know that he would win, but I'd cheer for him more.
That's fair. I think Jon Moxley has a little bit more time to
Here's another
connect.
personal note. There was a time in my life, I'd say after 2016, probably 2017.
Oh, yeah.
It's when I came back from being on tour and living out in the southeast side of the U.S. for so long. I had a playlist with Dean Ambrose and Stone Cold promos. And for a long period of time, that was what was keeping me going in life. Like, when I didn't even want to live anymore, those were what kept me going. So to see them come against each other like that, that was always kind of a dream. But I always knew Jon Moxley's the guy,
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose. And I've said that before. We'll get into it later again, I'm sure. I kind of favor Dean Ambrose over Jon Moxley in some senses for the character work.
Yeah, I still don't see it, but okay.
Jon Moxley going ahead. Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. Wow. Did you think you'd see them face each other during this?
I mean, I had a feeling.
They shared the same tribute show.
They did.
They shared a tribute show.
I
That's what I'm saying. Like, did you expect this soon
They're-
after that to be asking, well, who would you cheer for in a match? And like I
That's-
say continuously, like, it doesn't diminish anybody's legacy for me to like someone more.
Yeah, it's very
Big
hard
cheek.
with these two, because, like, Bray, like you said, but Terry Funk's, like, whole legacy is, like, he's putting it all out there.
Yeah.
Like, you want to cheer for him because he's doing this for you.
He's my childhood favorite. He's the man I wanted to be. Now, maybe as a person, not everything I embody now, but as a wrestler, everything I look up to. So it's no secret who's going ahead in this one.
That makes sense.
The Funkers. Good old Funkers. I thought that would be harder, but Terry Funk clears people pretty easily. Now, looking at Taz versus Mick Foley might be a little different.
I think you're gonna go Taz.
I think so, too.
You do love Taz.
I do love Mick Foley, but not Taz, like I keep saying. He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. Now, let's look at Ospreay, MJF.
Oh, no.
I don't think they've ever faced each other before. It's so funny. No, rumor has it, the only time they faced, MJF beat him without breaking a sweat. So, if you want to look at who's a better athlete,
It's obviously
MJF.
MJF, yeah.
Who's better on the mic, MJF.
I don't know, bro. It could. I didn't. I can't help but pull it out. I'm sorry, guys.
Pipe down, bruv. I'm thinking hard, but I'm actually not that surprised to think that my answer is MJF, and it doesn't make him legitimately better than Will Ospreay. It doesn't
But-
make Will Ospreay any like shorter on the list. It just means I think I like MJF that much more. And it's weird because during the match, as much as I like MJF, I just root
You're
for Will
right.
Ospreay a little bit.
Well, he's better than him, and he knows it.
He is.
You can thank him later.
MJF. We still got a little time. Let's go ahead and keep pushing these brackets, man, because
We can
the shorter
finish-
it gets, the better.
We might be able to finish this one today.
We'll never finish, period. This is going to be ongoing for the rest of time. People are going to start moving backwards. Let's see. We got Kenny Omega. We got Shawn... Nope, I'm skipping people. Did I? No, yeah, we got Kenny Omega and Shawn Michaels. My bad.
Yep.
But who goes ahead?
Kenny Omega. I know you loved Shawn Michaels, but Kenny Omega is still fresher, and you made a ballad for Kenny Omega.
That happened.
I've heard the way you've reacted to seeing Kenny Omega live.
Yeah, you make a valid point. Kenny Omega's going to be advancing.
Yeah.
Okay, we got RVD. We got Danielson.
I think it's Danielson.
We got Difficulty.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like I said, I saw all these names moving up and said, we're about to get into some really hard shit.
Okay. Here's a question for you. I know this is about you. Who do you think I would do?
Oh, I think you would do RVD over Danielson. And I don't think that means you don't like Bryan Danielson.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think there was a period of time where I remember first seeing Daniel Bryan and being like, I love this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like part of it, I guess my brother hated him. Like, who is this average Joe looking guy? And I'm like, why is he coming out to this Fight of the Valkyries? I'm like, it's Daniel Bryan. You don't understand.
And when was this for you? When did you start seeing him?
This is probably about when he first went to the main roster.
Was it a game show NXT or after?
I don't remember.
Because game show NXT, I started to see him on WWE, but I had already seen him before that.
I hadn't seen him before for sure though.
And I've told that story a couple times. That's where the obsession began, because I didn't even know wrestling outside of WWE was existing. And then somebody was like, hey, here's this 2005 ROH DVD, 2008 for me. And I watched Austin Aries versus Bryan Danielson, and captivated. Because again, like, first match I've ever seen that's not in WWE, and it's in like this very small like high school gym looking arena. And
it was like my first introduction to the indies, I think, was a Progress show.
So I saw him there, and I was like, I love this guy. A couple of years passed. He's on WWE on the game show, and it sucks because, like,
in the game show,
I think that was the first time I saw a wrestler I knew was good not be allowed to be good.
Yeah, that was
like, but he's supposed to be able to wrestle.
Yeah.
It was very confusing as a child.
But I saw him a little bit after that. Obviously, I want to say I stopped somewhere in 2012. Mm-hmm. So that would have been like the last time I saw Daniel Bryan before 2019.
That's crazy.
I think I would.
WrestleMania?
I did miss WrestleMania. I did go back and watch it, of course.
Of course.
I also went back and watched him get destroyed by Sheamus and listen.
That living all of it live sucked. And I didn't watch that WrestleMania live, but I mean, like, living it all while it happened in real time. With RVD, of course, the obsession begins with just being a wrestling fan, period. Like, I knew RVD before any of this because of ECW, which is kind of the beginning of my fandom. So, if I could put, like, RVD ECW TV champion phase against Bryan Danielson ROH World Champion phase, I would have a very tough decision deciding, but I feel like RVD would lean. But then, if I take current Bryan Danielson and put it against any other RVD, Bryan Danielson's going ahead. So it's like, okay, where
does that...
Where I pick depends on what time period it is, or like what scenario it is. I really could go either way. We might even just end this episode undecided on this one. I might need some time to think about it.
I feel like I would, because I'm the same way, like, and just from what I know, not all of the stuff that you know, just from what I've seen, what I know, like, I used to do the RVD all
I still
the
do.
time.
What do you mean? I still do the Rolling Thunder on trampolines when my back is giving out. See, there's an RVD up there. I can't zoom in when it's facing this way, but there's an RVD up there doing the frog splash, right? Bryan Danielson has his own corner dedicated to him. That's the difference. So
Bryan Danielson?
You kind of lean towards Bryan Danielson.
That's where I was leaning.
After I give you that answer, I'm going to tell you this. These two are going to end up being pitted against each other another time in this tournament, and we're going to be at the same pass, because I'm not sure about this.
$5 says he goes the different direction, too.
I think I am leaning about... I wouldn't even say it's 60-40. It's like 56-54 for me.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Shoot, man.
Okay. Bryan Danielson advances for now. He's going to see Kenny Omega, and that's just going to be the end of the show. I'm not going to decide at that point. I'm pretty much done at that point. Let's see. We got Jon Moxley against Terry Funk. The dream. This I knew had to come. And this, my friends, is where I leave you. I'm not giving you an answer today.
Yeah.
It's been enough time.
It's been enough
time. Need more. I need more time. Let Jon Moxley take you out on a Terry Funk hat. I was trying so hard not to let that fall. That was hilarious.
God, that was so good.
I've been up all night, baby, I keep it going. butterfly